Evacuation beginning. Evacuation complete. Evacuation complete. Complete. Evacuation complete.
Oh, we've all been there. Yeah. Evacuation time. Welcome to the other side of everything else. Oh, the other side should be where everything else is. Oh, welcome to the wild side. Oh, here we go. Going to jump into, there's a lot of stuff going on. I could have had this out yesterday, but then I got an idea for something else, and then more stuff happened. A lot of stupid stuff's happening out there right now. But we're going to jump into our first story right now, and there was a place in Florida, a Japanese steakhouse, and well, somehow meth got into the soy sauce. And then somehow soy sauce was the most popular condiment. Screwed that one up, didn't I? Oh, let's go to the news.
Some of the people who ingested narcotics at Nico's Japanese Steakhouse and Pace have now hired a law firm. Last Friday, 7 people were hospitalized after the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office says they ingested methamphetamines. The test results shown to WEAR News today confirm that was the narcotic found in their bodies and in their food. WEAR's Brent Carney was at a press conference.
Don't see, so there you go. Of course, lawsuits always follow, but I don't blame them. Put me in the hospital, and I want to be compensated. But how do you get meth into your soy sauce? Is it the steakhouse's fault, or is it the supplier's fault? But my question was how did they first realize that it was in the soy sauce and was coming from the steakhouse? And well, I guess they was throwing out some old uneaten food and had soy sauce there and all that, and some of the wildlife got into it, and our staff here at the other side of everything else, like, subscribe, and comment. Well, we got this footage. And that's how they found out that the meth was in the soy sauce. Perhaps the White House should do that with the cocaine incident, which is another thing. I guess they've closed that after, I think it's less than 2 weeks, and they're like, oh, we can't find them. We don't know who it is. Most secure building in the United States. We got cameras everywhere. I mean, I got cameras everywhere. I bet I could find it if it happened in my house. I can see everything in every nook and cranny in my house except for the bathrooms and the bedrooms. I can see everything that's going on around my house, every corner, every back lot, the back field back there. I see everything. But hey, maybe the cameras was down. I mean, but you would think they would get a better system. It's all ridiculous, of course. But wasn't trying to get into all that, because the show right now, because we do mainly focus on the music, because it's all about the music. Music makes everything better. I mean, I got so much stuff wrong with me, and the place I worked at, they was good enough to let me work on restriction, for several years. And the main way I did it was I had music going in my ear. That's how I keep going now. I do exercise. It's got to have something to do with music. It's all about music. But with that being said, did you notice my little scarves? They've been hanging there for a little bit. Because the merit of a man is how many scarves he's got hanging off his microphone. I don't know if anybody knows that, but if you're looking to find out what kind of man he is, See how many scarves are hanging off his microphone. Thank you, Steven Styler. But this is actually a wristband from the Monsters on the Mountain. They have announced dates for the 2024 Monsters on the Mountain in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, August 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And so we got dates. We don't have bands yet. We got dates. I just booked. Not doing the cruise again in 2024 because I booked Rock Island Fest in Key West, Florida. One of my wife and I's favorite place to go. But it's kind of like the cruise. It's about the same amount as the cruise, as far as the price goes. Maybe even a little bit better because I used air miles, and it's not going to cost me. It cost me like $22 for 2 airline tickets to get to Key West from Louisville, Kentucky, which that was kind of the deciding factor, I guess. But this festival, I mean, it's got Mr. Big's the main reason I wanted to go. Mr. Big's there, Night Ranger's there, Winger's there, Wigwam's there. I didn't get to see them. They was on the cruise last year. That was one of my one regrets. I didn't get to go see them, and now I get to see them. Of course, everything's subject to change. I always like that at work. You get your handbook at work, and then you read up through it, and then at the end of it, it says, subject to change without prior notice due to management discretion. I live by that motto myself. So, anyway, let's get into what this is about. And I'll talk more about Rock Island Fest later on. They're setting stages up all over the island, so you can walk around. You can get music everywhere, and you get it's a great little venue. You can walk around, find you a good spot, and get your pictures, your videos, or whatever. And like I said, it's going to have Bret Michaels and Dee Snider and Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, Don Felder. Hey, speaking of Don Felder, that's where I got my idea for my show this week. It's guitarists that gets forgotten about when you talk about the greats. When you start talking about the greats, they get kind of lost in the shuffle somehow or another. And they are just spectacular. And of course, I've mentioned them. Don Felder is my first on the list. And, well, I'll tell you what, I love the Eagles. They did the Hell Freezes Over reunion tour, and it's the first time that I spent $100 or more for a ticket. And I swore it'd be the last time. And I lied because I do. And, but on that tour, which me and my buddy Joe ended up going, and I remember we walked up in where the seats was and sat on this grass on the side, and we got away with it for a little while, and security caught on to us. But that's, that's how we do it. But anyway, fantastic show. They did a little acoustic set. They did the electric. They did some Joe Walsh songs. Because I was all about Joe Walsh and the Eagles, He brought rock and roll to it, I mean, you had rock and roll, you had country, kind of mixed in. California rock is what they call it. But then Don Felder, and I sat there and watched him with mouth open, jaw dropped. I was just like, this guy is the real deal. Joe Walsh is too, but he'll get mentioned. People forget about Don Felder. He's not with the Eagles anymore, but he does solo stuff. So that's somebody. I've seen him with the Eagles, but I've not seen him solo. Every night on that listing, there's at least one band or artist that I haven't seen, whether it's as a solo act or, Dee Snider. I've seen him with Twisted Sister. I've never seen him solo. The last night's more of a 90s. You got Stone Temple Pilots, you got Buck Cherry, you got Lit, and you got Bowling for Soup. I've never seen Bowling for Soup, and all the rest of them's great. I've enjoyed all of them. Bowling for Soup, I love their songs. They put the humor in there. And we'll get into some of that stuff later on. I'm sure I'm going to figure out some way to implement them into this little show we called The Other Side of Everything Else. Like, subscribe, comment, follow, whatever you got to do. I don't know if you're watching it on, because I share it with everything. I probably overdo it. I share it on Truth Social. I share it on Twitter. I share it on Facebook. I'm a part of Podcasters for Spotify, or Spotify for Podcasters. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong. But and then they distribute it for me. And that's free. If you ever want to do a podcast, Spotify for Podcasters, it's a great deal. But we're going to jump into some Don Felder. Not only, his rhythms, are just iconic, with Hotel California, Life in a Fast Lane. Take Me for a Ride, heavy metal, that one. And that's what we're going to kick into here. And then we'll kick into some of his solos, too. He's just amazing guitarist. So what I like about Don Felder is he can do speed if he needs to, but he puts what the song needs. It's almost a song inside the song, kind of like Ace Frehley does with Kiss. He puts that what you need for that song, and he just so melodic you can sing along with the thing, and even he's doing the solo for Hotel California there with Sammy Hagar sitting next to him, and I was on the Rock and Roll Road Trip. That's a good show if you ever get a chance to catch it. It's on Access TV. But he was doing both lead parts, him and Joe Walsh. But there's nothing like him and Joe Walsh together. There's a reason there's some iconic leads, and then people, I know you get tired of, get tired of Crazy Train, you get tired of Free Bird, you get tired of Stairway to Heaven, you get tired of Hotel California, but I implore you every now and then, go check those songs out again. There's a reason they are iconic. And Don Felder, man, he's the real deal. And I'm really looking forward to watching him solo. He's got some good solo stuff out there too. And I hope they do that. A lot of bands, when I see them like that, they tend to just do stuff like when I saw Dave LaRosse solo. All kinds of great solo songs. He did all Van Halen stuff. But, that's all right. That's your bread and butter, but bread and butter. But anyway, let's jump into some more news. There's so much stupidity out there right now. I don't have to tell you. You know, you've been out there, you've seen it. And it's leaking over into comedy. It's leaking over into music and movies, and it's anyway. Let's just jump in. Who remembers this song?
Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind.
Tracy Chapman, Fast Cars. Give me one reason. Great song on its own. Huge hit back in the 90s. It was nominated for Grammys. It was played everywhere. The bar scene was playing it. Fran Sherry, she'd always get up at the band singing. Sung it fantastic. And, well, as they do in music, people tend to, since the beginning of recording music, they copy other people's songs. And so Luke Combs took a crack at it.
Had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car, I got a job that pays all our bills. You stay out drinking late at the bar, see more of your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better, thought maybe together you and me'd find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. Take your fast car and keep on driving.
Does a good job. You know, he made it, he countryfied it because he's a country artist. Does a fine job. Tracy, she's collecting royalties from it, so she's getting money back. People's probably searching for the original artist, see who it was, see out the original. I do that to see what the original sounded like. Good for everybody, right? Well, take a load of this.
So I want to read you this tweet this is a Washington Post reporter, a Washington Post journalist by the name of Emily Yar. She writes, as Luke Combs' hit cover of Tracy Chapman's Fast Car dominates the country charts, it's bringing up some complicated emotions in fans and singers who know that Chapman, as a queer black woman, would have an almost zero chance at that achievement herself. Now, you might remember the song Fast Car by Tracy Chapman because it was a massive hit when it came out 30 some odd years ago, and Community Notes, the fact-checking apparatus of Twitter, made note of that. Fast Car by Tracy Chapman was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year and Song of the Year. She won for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance and Best New Artist. Oh, and she has 7 other nominations for Grammy Awards and 2 other wins. So the way that the Washington Post frames this is because this white guy, because what they're saying is he's a white guy, he's, country singer, he must somehow also be a white supremacist, some of that nonsense. He's going to make a whole bunch of money and win a whole bunch of awards on this song, this Tracy Chapman song. And she could... Oh, but she did win a whole bunch of awards, and she became super rich on it. And then here's the best part. Not only did they get fact-checked, Washington Post and that ridiculous quote-unquote journalist, but even Tracy Chapman herself is speaking out against this nonsense. Here is a quote that she gave to People. Chapman, 59, spoke about the cover in an exclusive statement to Billboard, writing, I never expected to find myself on the country charts, but I'm honored to be there. Praising the new version by Combs, 33, she continued to the outlet, I'm happy for Luke and his success and grateful that new fans have found and embraced Fast Car. So do you see what the machine does with apps?
Do you see it? Always trying to cause trouble. I don't know, Washington Post, these newspapers and whatever they're called now, they used to be like reputable, didn't they? They used to be like who you went to for your information. Now they do stuff like this. I mean, it's another thing I didn't get a chance to get into is Jason Aldean put out a song, Not in a Small Town. Use actual footage, in the video of the riots in 2020. And all he's talking about is community. And he's like saying, try that in a small town. It won't happen in a small town. And but they're calling him a racist. CMT canceled him because of what I call the loud minority, the whiners. The people just can't let it go. And I guess the video became an issue because he filmed it in front of a church where a lynching of a boy happened in 1927. Who had to figure that out? Because it's also been the same church that's been in Disney movies. It's been in several other videos. And it's just ridiculous. And the thing is, and they're saying that he's promoting violence, but yet he's talking out against the violence. They're saying that he shouldn't be showing riots on there, but yet back in 2020 they said that it wasn't riots. Remember, it was the summer of love. So anyway, the hypocrisy just keeps going to another. Just when you think it can't, it goes to a whole other level. But anyway, congratulations to Luke Combs. Does a fine job. Congratulations to Tracy Chapman. She's raking in more money from the song that she put out in the 90s. She's an artist. She's probably thrilled that these other people are getting to hear her song, whether it's from another artist or whatever. Like I said, it's been from the beginning of time. Well, beginning of recording time, of people recording music. People have been covering older songs. Led Zeppelin does it. Aerosmith does it. Rappers do it all the time. They call it sampling. But then, just because they're showing stuff that they don't want you to see, I guess. They don't want you to be reminded of what happened in 2020 when people was destroying businesses. People lost their lives. And all they wanted to do is defund the police. The people that were out there trying to defend you, even though you hated them. Sorry, got off on a little bit of a rant there, but let's get back into the music. Just wanted to put a little highlight on that. So the hypocrisy is it's come into music, and it's just sad. That I hope people don't even give it any validity. And I don't know what to think of CMT. They canceled the video. They banned it. Are trying to cancel Luke Combs. I hope that can't happen. I think he's got enough fans that'll stick with him because these aren't your ordinary fans. And that's just like the situation with Bud Light a while back, which I just don't even care about that. But your audience are from small towns. Majority of them will tell you, yeah, you bring it to a small town. I remember when it was all going on, there's a man in Louisville that was, they tweeted or posted something about, because I live like 30 minutes from Louisville, Kentucky, and they posted something about, yeah, wait till we come your way, and I was like, hey, you can come our way. You might not make it back your way. They never made it our way. By the way, I'm from a small town. I totally support Luke Combs, totally support Jason Aldean. And this next guitarist deserves a lot of credit. And he definitely gets lost in the shovel. He gets forgotten about until you're listening to him. My brother probably was the one that got me into REO Speedwagon. Gary Richrath is just a monster guitarist. He is an animal. Well, let's just jump into some of his stuff and let you hear what I'm talking about.
Yes, I am.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You just got to preview what I'm getting ready to go to. And Gary Richrath, I'm got to talk about him again because you heard there, he's another one. He shreds. He can shred with the best of them. Well, he's passed on now, sadly. That's the thing about it. He didn't just get kicked out of REO Speedway, and there wasn't like the controversy. He had health issues, so he sat by and they got Dave. Gosh, I'm going to blank on his name. I'm sorry, Dave. First name's Dave, and he does a great job. He fills the shoes fantastically. But Gary Richrath, he's the one that wrote those songs. You know, he played those leads on the albums and all those concerts. And man, first time I saw them, man, it was just it seemed like all the whole high school was there everywhere. And I mean, he's just a monster, like I said. And he does the melodic too. You know, they got a lot of good ballads and slower songs, and they tell the stories. And REO Speedway, another one that's amazing that they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But let's go ahead and jump into our story. You saw a picture. That's our Vice President Kamala. She was giving a speech, and I don't even have a funny clip to play with it because it's just it's just funny on its own. And listen to what she says.
And so we set an ambitious goal to cut our greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2030 and to reach net zero emissions by 2050. The investment we are announcing today will help us to achieve these goals, and it will do so much more. Because think also about the impact on not only the local economy, not only on an investment in the entrepreneurs and innovators from and in the community, think about the impact on something like public health. When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air.
Did you catch that? Let's see if I can jump back just a second here.
And reduce population.
Reduce population. What the hell? Was that a Freudian slip? Or is that just some more of the Kamala stuff that she just incompetent? And because she was doing a good speech, she was going on, she's making sense. That don't happen very often. And then she wants to reduce population. And it's hard for me not to believe that it was a Freudian slip because I don't know what COVID was. Because it's been proven that it's come from a lab in China that Dr. Fauci was a part of. And Como, he sent all these people into nursing homes together, knowing that they were the weakest. So a lot of people died there. Of course, nothing happens to these people for all that stuff. But anyway, that's conspiracy theories. Who knows? I guess, of course, everything's a theory and conspiracy until it's proven, I guess. But anyway, I love the 70s and the 80s where we was all about populating. And so we're going to jump into my last guitarist. He's one of my favorite guitarists, and he'd be saying, he's a guitarist from Triumph, Rik Emmett. And you're saying, oh, no, we know he's a great guitarist, great vocalist, great guitarist. Well, yeah, but he gets forgotten about whenever you talk about, the top 10 lists and the top. He's got to be in there. He's amazing. He does some stuff that don't get done. And so we're going to jump into a few things. And the songs, again, he writes songs in the songs. And so let's just jump into some of his stuff, and maybe you can tell me I'm wrong. Positive songs. Always got a lot of good positive songs. he's so good. I mean, I tried touching a little bit, a little bit of the rhythm there. Fight's a good fight. Some serenade, Midsummer Serenade there, and done some incredible stuff. Saw him solo at Coyotes one time, and he did just broke into a bunch of classical stuff, and I was again sitting there, mouth open, jaw dropped, and I went and bought his classical CD. I think it's called the Intensities of Mr. E or something like that. But and I listened to it for a while. I need to listen to it again, and so I know people know, but they forget about them, and if you just explore, get in there and explore. I didn't do them justice there. I didn't play enough of the stuff probably, but yeah, just amazing stuff. So there's 3 guitarists, and they got their bands, their respective bands, and all that you can jump into. And we're going to jump into I don't know if you call this a moment of zen with Joe Biden or not, but pay attention to this little video and tell me what you think. I mean, it's a baby. Baby looked a little scared to me, but I mean, that maybe not. I mean, the parents are all laughing. They just want to get their selfies, but he's doing the whole geek whatever. But he's a creepy old man. The baby don't know he's a president. And but then at the end, that's the real creeper part, because he's got a history of smelling little girls' hair, and so I don't know if you caught it. Check it out again. Got him a sniff. And boy, I'm ending on a real creepy note, ain't I? But that wraps up another issue of The Other Side of Everything Else. Like, subscribe, comment, follow, tell a friend, tell an enemy, share it. Just keep looking for what you're looking for and look on the other side. Look, we'll be where everything else is. So until the next time, I'll see you on the other side.